Howdy, howdy, everybody. How's it going? Sorry about your wait. I was doing some detective work, some PI work in the background. So I got hold up. Um, Anyways, guys, I found some interesting information today because one of you guys messaged me and got to talking about all this. I don't know why I'm not seeing your guys' comments. Hopefully they start popping up. I see it on my phone. Am I live? Am I live or not? Well, it does say on my phone I'm live, but it's not showing up comments on my screen. So I can look at my phone, I guess. Uh, hey, Carol, Lisa, Mama Bear, Flying Doves, or Mama Brown. Mama Brown, hope you're having a good day too. Hey, wise old lady, and Giselle, Robin, Lisa, Linda, Lisa Kleckner, and RJ. Okay, cool. Now the comments are starting to come up. Okay, everybody, first and foremost, everybody send healing vibes and prayers to Tiffany's son and Tiffany. Um, Green hearts. I think that's what you guys do. Any good thoughts, please? Nonstop, all day long, every day, um, constantly, guys. Sweetie Pie Low! Hey, Jenny. So I thought, well, let's try to get a hold of this tree trimmer again. You know, he stopped talking to me a couple years ago. He didn't really ever talk much to begin with, except when I met him. And I've already put their names out there. I'm not going to do it again right now for people to harass him because just in case he's not wanting to be contacted, because I mean, I did try to contact him and several times and he probably, I don't know. Anyways, yes, prayers for Tiffany's son for sure, guys. Um, so I was going to message him and then I was kind of looking at our past messages trying to see like what we had talked about. And my focus at that time still was that Randy guy. You know, I was trying to find out who this Randy guy is. And you guys are going to see that in the messages. And you're going to see what he says about him. I don't know. I'm trying to do the best I can as far as like you guys figuring this out. Um, I know people are saying, I don't know. We're gonna go over this and just see. You guys take it as you will. I mean, could he be lying or could I mean something be mixed up? I don't know. I don't know, but I don't know if these people who are saying stuff about oh this red truck and Randy, make sure you're seeing some kind of proof or knowing where it's coming from. It's not just a statement from somebody saying, oh, this person said, at least see it in writing or something. Um, so I contacted one. Now I talked to two. When I saw them there, it was at that church that had the prayer. What is it? Prayer garden. Prayer garden. Yeah, had a little. It was a little. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? The little tribute to Summer that they put there. Oh, I haven't found. There's nothing. Well, of course I would send a TBI if there's anything. Of course, this isn't anything worth sending a TBI though. I mean, they know. This is just to give you guys a little bit of insight because people are assuming that the Randy guy being talked about is Randy Hill, but from these messages, it doesn't look like it, guys. So I don't know what to freaking think. I don't know what to think. He's describing a Randy out of a completely different state. But you guys are going to say he says that he's from out of state. He was a traveling worker. I'm going to show you guys this. So just more to confuse you guys. You're welcome. I messaged him back in January of 2022. I had just got back from Tennessee the first time, as you see. That would have been right after I met Fred for the first time, went to Tennessee the first time. And I asked him, I said, hey, it's Adrian, aka Ziggy. I talked to you in Tennessee about Summer Wells. Did you ever remember who that Randy guy's last name is? Would you ever want on my YouTube channel and panel and discuss the case? I said, did you see my message? Question mark. So yeah, me being a bugaboo. Well, it looks like the 22nd, I messaged back a couple days, didn't hear from him. I have a few more days, a week. And then he sends me just a little plus to let me know he saw my message. I said, what do you think? You don't really want to, do you? I said, oh, well, it's okay if not. He said, hey, and then he didn't respond. Then I don't hear from him until September. Okay. So he said, anything new about Summer? Do we want to listen? I guess I could play that on my phone and see what I said. I don't know. We can listen. Let's listen just to see what was going on back then. Or what we were thinking. Probably nothing different. Okay, so let me play my voice message and see what what I was talking about. On my phone shit. And see what I said. I don't. Oopsies. Okay, here we go. The first one. Hey, sorry, I'm driving right now, so and hopefully I have service for it to go through. So I'm having to do a voice message. But if you can't hear this, I can type later or whatever. But really, there's really nothing new except Don gets out of jail next month. And we're all waiting to see what he's going to do, if he's going to come back on YouTube full force, or if he's going to wait a little bit and then come back on YouTube, or just never come back on YouTube. I'm also curious to see if him and Candace will still be together, and also if he'll be living over at Mid Hill Road. Candace is second one out of state somewhere. Don't know exactly where she's staying. It's been said Arkansas, Georgia, or I think Arkansas or Georgia. And most people are believing, and I am too, that Jody Sue, the neighbor that's kind of across the street, but if you've been there, you'll know it's not right across the street. It's actually not even close across the street. A lot of people believe that, are really thinking that something is suspect with her, and also Andy. There for a while, people were starting to believe Andy, but okay, so guys, remember, this is back in September of 2022 that I'm sending these messages. So there's a few more to go. I just want to play. I want to be completely transparent, play everything in these messages, not just put out what it's in words. So we can just see. It's interesting to hear back, and I'm sorry that it's so quiet. Let me pull up my chat on my other phone now because I can't see what you guys are saying. Hey, Jam. Okay. Now I can see the chat. All right, let's go to the third one. I don't know. He is, if you don't know who Andy that's Jody Sue's, Andy Bernard and Jody Sue's, like, ex or whatever. They broke up just very shortly after Summer went missing, which they were together, like, for their whole lives since they were kids. So that's strange, but I don't believe that only one of them can be involved. I mean, definitely not just Andy.
In a quarter mile, turn left onto South 500 West.
Sorry. Definitely not just Andy, because he wouldn't have left Jody Sue unless she doesn't know. But I don't believe, like, she wouldn't know, like, if he...
Take the next left onto South 500.
Sorry, it's... If he somehow, like, I don't know, possibly, I don't know, Fred Hill saw Andy on the road that day. He swears, I talked to Fred again last night, he swears it was 100% Andy, it was him, it was the silver Kia Soul, and he swears, like, I've asked him several times, different scenarios. Could it have been somebody else driving Andy's Soul? Like, could it have been Jody Sue? Because Andy swears that he wasn't there until, like, on that road until, like, 6:30. But I don't know. When asked the other day, he's been going live on, by the way, you might, on The Real Andy B. If you look that up, he's done some question and answers. I don't know if you've watched, but yeah, back then they only allowed minute clips on Facebook Messenger. The last time he did it, somebody asked him what he was driving that day, and he acted like he couldn't remember. Like, that's something you're gonna remember, okay? Like, anybody's gonna remember something like, you know. So that this man texted you, he didn't text me after all that time, Carolyn. What are you talking about? Nobody, this is from years ago. It was a weird answer, and it just seems like he's also constantly distancing himself from Dawn and Candace. I also had somebody contact me who claimed that their good friend or family friend was, you know, got really bad in drugs and started prostituting herself for, you know, to get her fix or whatever. And supposedly Dawn was one of her clients. And also supposedly she saw Andy out there. It was in Knoxville, I guess, where she was at some kind of, like, hotel type place, like crappy hotel, you know, motel, whatever. And supposedly there was, like, a pimp, I don't know, who also sold drugs and fronted drugs to Dawn. And I don't know if he fronted drugs to Andy, but I do know, like, Andy got drugs off of him. Like, supposedly. I don't know this for fact. I'm just going by what this lady says. And it seems to line up. Yes, she mentions Knoxville. And it just makes sense. Mentioned it happened that Dawn helped a prostitute get away from their pimp in December. Which now people are trying to, well, I'm trying to think. They were trying to say that was related to, what's that girl? Not Layla, but her best friend that got killed, Breonna Tester. So last December, that would have been after Summer went missing. And yeah, so, it couldn't have been, like, that couldn't have had anything to do with why Summer went missing, because it was after Summer went missing, but it still might, and Knoxville might tie into this whole thing with Summer. Knoxville, drugs, possibly, like, I don't know, I feel like maybe Andy might have taken Summer, drove Summer to somewhere, was like the driver, or like, I don't know. But sorry for all the messages. I know it's a lot to go through. It's just a lot, Which he's never really responded. So no, he hasn't like ever really. Actually, I haven't talked to this guy for 2.5 years, and he hasn't responded in 2.5 years, probably because of the YouTube stuff is what I guessed at the time I tried to get a hold of him. The other one passed away. The other one was named Paul Childress, and he passed away. Imagine that. So that was all the messages I sent him. Hey, Rhiannon. I just wanted to hear it back because I didn't listen to those before I did this live. I wanted to see what we were talking about at that time. Sounds like the exact same shit we're talking about now, right? Those messages were those voice messages were over almost 3.5 years ago. So I said, still would love to have you come on my channel. And all he said, it's all sad. That's all he says. I said, and on top of everything I said, most think parents know, of course. I said, hey, okay, so this is in June. A whole year later, I messaged him. I said, hey, do you remember the location of the down power line the day that Summer went missing? Because didn't you guys say you had to leave around 3 to a down power line? Where was that located? He said, no, we was leaving at 3 to go home. I said, okay, because it's just confusing, because in our conversation, you guys talk about working an outage the day Summer went missing. And I'm just trying to figure out what that outage was, but maybe it was just a mix-up. I said, do you remember that Randy guy's last name that saw Summer in the back of the extended cab on the vehicle Candace was driving that day Summer went missing? He says, no, I don't. He was from North Carolina. I said, did he move back to North Carolina? He says, he always lived in North Carolina. Davy was getting him a hotel where it was a travel crew. And I said, how long did he work with you guys? I thought he got fired, didn't he? Let's see. I thought he got fired, didn't he? He says, yes, he did. But when he was working, he would stay in the hotel with the rest of the guys that was from out of town. And then, I know, me and Burn Barrel worked together, and it was a different, but anyways, this is the tree trimmers. Okay. Then I say, was he working with your crew for very long, or did you work with him just that one time? He was working for Davy before I started. So Davy, not Hill Tree Service. So I don't understand, guys. I'm confused here. I really, I don't understand where people are getting this information that they're saying. I mean, I guess it's because the location and there just happens to be a Randy tied to it, but I don't know. Maybe this guy, what we need to look into is see if Randy lived in North Carolina, because Fred doesn't know where he lived. I mean, but we would assume that he lived around in East Tennessee. So I don't know. He said he was working for Davy before I started. I said, but how long had he been working in the area? Because he lived in North Carolina. You said he was staying at a hotel bought by Davy. So how long had he been working in the area of Beech Creek? I said, hey, is this the Randy that you're talking about? I send this one. He has a Davy shirt on. I said, and this is his son. I don't remember who this was that I showed him. And 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 then he doesn't respond. I never hear from him again, guys, since almost 2.5 years ago. No, he passed away in 2023. So, and I said, "Oh my God, did that other guy that was with you when I met you guys pass away? What happened?" And that was June 15th. June 15th, 2 years after Summer went missing. Yeah, that is pretty shortly after, though. Really, honestly, because that's like just 1.5 years after I talked to him. And then today I said, "Hey, I really need to talk to you. Is the Randy guy you guys were talking about with me, Randy Hill?" And I tried to call him. So I thought, you guys, I think the most interesting of these was this, I don't know what to think. Like, hey, Will, hey, Val, Patricia. So I heard that somebody was saying like Randy had a red truck or whatever, or Paul had a red truck, and they did. It had a cattle rack on it, is what Fred told me. And yeah, I guess it was sold. So I think, from my understanding, so that's true. But I don't know. Hey, Pearl's mom. And he even oh shit, where's the part he even says he didn't hear about a down power line? Where's that part? Oh, right here. Somehow I missed this whole part. Then what was it you said about a down line? He said we worked for the power company trimming trees around the power lines so no trees will take the lines down. I said, "Oh, so there was no down lines?" I said, "What I mean is AEP is saying there was no down lines on the 14th, 15th, or 16th. And he says, "I don't recall any power lines being down that day." That was important one. I guess I somehow skipped that one. I don't recall any power lines being down that day. But then there's this rumor, guys, that this Randy guy, so yes, he confirms in these messages that Randy was fired, but and I'm hearing a rumor it was because he clipped a power line. Was I mean, or he clipped some kind of line. Was it reported to the power company or was it not reported? Is that why power company's not like it was something he did. He fucked up big time somehow that day because he was fired. And he even talks about another thing that Fred points out too in the interview that everybody's sharing. And thank you for those that are crediting me and putting me in that, because I've seen people going over it and they don't even say it's mine. It's crazy. But anyways, in that, if you guys listen, this guy or one of the guys says he was fired and I got his company truck. So he couldn't have been if he was in a company truck, then he wasn't in a red truck that day. It's all very, very confusing. No, there's no outage from anything that we can find anywhere. This is the tree trimmers that were there that day, and he does not recall any power outage at all. No, he worked for Davey. Randy worked for Davey. Like he said in these messages. The Randy they're talking about worked for Davey. It says right here. And he said he worked for him long before he was even with him. Right here. He was from North Carolina. I said, do you remember that Randy guy's last name that saw somewhere in the back of the extended cab of the vehicle Candace was driving the day Summer went missing? He says, no, I don't. He was from North Carolina. I said, did he move back to North Carolina? He said, he always lived in North Carolina. Davy was getting him a hotel where it was a travel crew. I don't know. We're trying to figure out this guy, what Randy, people are assuming it's Randy Hill, but what was that?
She put that video out earlier today about the phone call with the power company and stuff.
Oh yeah, when Evil entered. Let's do that. So, I mean, take it as you guys will. I would not discount completely that is Randy Hill. Okay, I wouldn't discount it completely, but this doesn't match, is what I'm saying. So I don't know what to freaking think. And this is from years ago. I know, and that's what I asked him in this. I even said that. I said, okay, because it's just confusing, because in our conversation, you guys talk about working an outage the day Summer went missing, and I'm just trying to figure out what that outage was. Maybe it was just a mix-up. But I don't think it was the outage in Ben Hill, right? When Evil entered. The gas spoke up and said, no, he didn't get fired. He's on a different crew. No, he got fired from this working for them, for this company, because he messed up that day. He did get fired. Hold on. Guys, I was the one that was there. He talks about even getting his truck after he was fired. I don't recall any power lines being down that day. He worked for a power company. We worked for the power company trimming trees around the power lines so no trees will take the lines down. Maybe he knows more and isn't telling me. Maybe. I mean, he stopped talking to me. Possibly. Maybe. Let's listen to When Evil Enter real quick. Oh, Killer Looks first. Yeah, that he did do that. Clean up the audio a little bit. It does sound. I'm not saying to completely say it's not him. I'm just saying like to take it into consideration. You know what I mean? Because we can't believe anybody. I mean, seriously. So What, Carolyn? That's definitely weird if it was Robin that purchased the truck. No, Robin had a truck and they sold it too. Robin sold her truck. Wait, that would be craziness if Robin was the one that purchased that truck. I think she had one when Summer went missing. This truck was sold, the red truck associated with Paul, and then was sold in 2022, wasn't it? Got her truck from her father. Yeah. Okay. When I was traveling, there was a power line that broke in and fallen around the road. I had to turn around. Oh, really? Ginger Snap? Okay, so let's listen to this. Killer Looks cleaned up the audio. It does sound a lot better.
Yeah, did you see anything like
No, not really. We had a piece of equipment parked out there a holler that morning. And I didn't recognize them, but later that day, or the next day when the FBI got it, Randy brought it to my attention.
it was rain?
God, he's working.
Oh, okay.
Guy
I used to work with, because he tells me the guy worked there for Davy before he was even an employee.
I was picking for the mother, the mama, and something.
So you saw some?
Well, she was in the truck. Randy said that she laid up in the back of the truck with the extended cab.
Did she? Oh, the extended cab?
Yeah, I guess it's third truck.
Was that morning?
Yeah. It was actually outed that day. I worked the repair, the
Oh,
the beard.
they just put him on another crew. Yeah, but he was in trouble. He messed up. So he may be right. He may have been put on another crew. I think I do remember something like that. So lean on me. I think I do remember him speaking up and saying something like that. But the reason why it happened, he got put on another crew, is because, from my understanding, is he fucked up in some way. And I don't know. That's just my.
He was the one working over there most of the day.
He was the one working over there most of the day, is what he says.
After lunch, he was over there.
So your guys' work crew saw Summer the morning.
Yeah, I was over there at like that's before you started, wasn't it? No, I went that out. Me and the guy were at the same day. Past her house, I think she lives on the Ben Hill Road.
Uh-huh.
We were down past it, and there's like a gravel entrance, and we had an incident there. Went and helped the lineman put the line back up.
Okay, so
And, they did send us in there, but it was just turning the trucks around.
yeah,
I think maybe some other guys.
that
were-
driveway.
He talks about a line
Yeah.
in here, so I don't
but it was
understand
just
that.
turning the trucks around.
Yeah.
Wait,
An incident there.
a gravel entrance. We had an incident there where
Helped the lineman
men
put the
helping
line back up.
incident there went and helped put the line back.
Okay, so
And, they did.
He must have, I think he messed up something. Randy fucked up and they had to come in to help fix it. Is the way I'm taking this now.
Send us in there, but it was just turning the trucks around.
yeah,
I think maybe some other guys.
that
were-
driveway is
Where
ridiculous.
you working in there? Is that the one where that creek's right there, that big old
Yeah.
dead tree is? Yeah, we were working in there. I took the dead tree down.
Trying to, if you know how to get a hold of that guy that, yeah, do you think, is he a nice guy? Would he talk?
He's an older guy, Randy. Pretty nice. I don't know if he's
He's an older guy. Randy's pretty nice. I mean, what's older? You guys, Randy would be probably, okay, these guys were about 35 to 40. What would be an older guy to them? I mean, Randy Hill can't be that old. He's got to be, he's older than you, right, Fred? Fred. Is Randy older than you? Randy Hill by a lot or what?
Several years.
Like he's probably in his 50s or something?
Yeah, he's in his 50s. So I'm assuming.
So would you guys call that an older guy? I don't know. I mean, if you're, I don't know if I would call that an older guy.
He's probably
If,
50 or 51 or something. I'm thinking. I'm wanting to think, somewhere something.
so they were saying he's an older guy. And these guys were about 40 years old. One of them I know was 40 because I remember looking into him. I think it was Paul. And that's easy to find out because let me see. Let me look up his obituary actually real quick. Just to get Paul Childress, Rogersville obituary. $44. Yep. So here, let me share this real quick. We'll go back to this audio in 1 second. This was one of the men I talked to. So he passed a year and a half after I talked to him. And so he would have been 43 at the time. They were saying an older guy. You guys, do you think he would be calling an older guy who's 50 only like only like 6-7 years older than him, would he call him an older guy? I don't know. It's up to your guys' own interpretation. So he passed away. It says Friday, September 16th, 2022. He was born February 14th, 1978 to Lena Donaldson and James Mitchell in Athens, Texas. Paul married his best friend Sabrina in 2006, who he shares 3 beautiful children. Paul worked as a supervisor of Davy Tree Expert Company. He was so many things to so many people: a father, a brother, a papa, an uncle, a friend, a son, a coworker, and a best friend to his loving wife, Sabrina. They shared many happy memories together. Paul was a simple man who could often be heard laughing and enjoying life by neighbors with his wife on their front porch. Paul loved entertaining at his home in Lone Mountain for anyone that wanted to visit. This very talented and loving man was preceded in death by his grandparents, Jessica Louise Donaldson, Joyce Childress, and Jimmy Childress, both of Elmore City, Oklahoma. Father James Mitchell Childress in 2018 of Oklahoma. So he was survived by his wife and 3 children. His brother and his wife, or his brother and his brother's wife, are in Oklahoma. Let's see. Paul Barrels, Tim West, Paul Childress Jr., Michael Childress. Okay. So that's one of them that passed. Okay. Let's go back to Killer Looks. Yeah, you said an instant, but you didn't say what happened. I know. That's weird. I don't know. I wish he would have said.
That's what I was saying. Like if I message you and
Okay, thank you, lady boy. It wasn't here long.
But yeah,
He actually got fired for tearing the line down, and this is his old truck and everything. I got his truck and all. No,
He actually got fired, is what he said right here.
he actually got fired for tearing the line down, and this is his old
Tearing
truck
a
and
line
everything. I got
down. He actually got fired for tearing a line down.
tearing the line down, and this is his old truck and everything. I got his
This is his old truck and everything.
truck and all. No, he transferred over
And then the other guy
Yeah,
couldn't
did
be
you-
transferred, is what the other guy says. Like Lean on Me says. Hold on, let's re-listen.
It wasn't here long.
But yeah,
he actually got fired for tearing the line down, and this is his old truck and everything. I got his truck and all. No, he transferred over.
He transferred over to what? I can't. I wish we could hear that, but he says he transferred. So let's then go to real quick. When Evil entered.
The world watched with eyes wide open. It caught like a notch, stood frozen in disbelief.
Fresh body, fresh eyes to be able to come in and help search for summer whales.
As far as my office, it's been pretty hard because my office don't stop. We're still answering calls, still doing investigations that come in, and we're still running the jail.
You guys
We're alternating the officers out. And like's been said,
That was like the day of.
everyone that's command post been there this week, everyone now is getting mentally, physically, and emotionally strained.
So this horse right here is David Bay. The 2 people that were on this horse that day was David Bays and Pat Wilcox. Fred? He can't hear me. He's listening, but he's behind a Fred. Is that this guy right there? Do you know who that is?
I don't know who that guy is.
Okay, but it was Pat Wilcox and David Bays.
Yeah, the horse got away from him out on Lone Star.
Yep. They were going, what had happened is were going to, David Bays and Pat Wilcox were going to recover vehicle from Brandon Clark, right?
Brandon had borrowed David's vehicle, and he was going to where Brandon Clark lived to try to get his vehicle. That's why he had Pat with him for Pat to drive it back.
Yep. And the horse
And
was
same
going
day-
home back home to
and
Ben
the
Hill.
Same day that David found out that Brandon had wrecked his car at the corner of Old Blair's Gap and Lone Star. Which is right behind the news crew and stuff at that church on the other corner. That's when he found out about that, the same day his horse ran away.
I wish that Randy or, like one of them would come out, would talk to somebody, at least put out some kind of some kind of message for YouTube or whatever.
Oh, we didn't know nothing about it until we come back to work.
And these people too, I hear that Candace is still on the hill too. So I don't know why PG is saying that Candace isn't. By the way, that's just a side note. I was seeing this video here at the side where it says more trouble on the hill. And from somebody that's very close to them telling me, but could they be lying to me just to cover? Maybe they could be, I guess.
You guys have worked crew saw summer the morning.
Yeah, I was over there at like 5. That's before you started, wasn't it? No, I worked that out. When you hit that guy one, that the same day.
So
It was actually outage that day. I worked the repair for
But isn't that
weird?
I can hardly hear it, but isn't it that interesting though that if that Randy guy did get fired on June 15th, there's a couple people who didn't go back to their jobs after June 15th. That's weird. Andy Bernard never went back to Hayworth after the 15th. At least not for a very long time. And this Randy guy gets fired on the 15th. It sounds like it. They don't say exactly, but it sounds like to me the incident they're talking about, they had to come in and help because of something that Randy did. I would like to know what line that was, what it really was, because was it done purposely to try to sabotage something? Or, you know what I mean? What exactly did this Randy guy get fired for? Or get transferred, whatever, get reprimanded for, whatever happened. What was it that actually, what did he?
He's one that worked over there all most of the day. I think it was like later part, like after he was over there.
So you,
It's like PG being pregnant.
Down there, past her house, I think she lives on the Ben Hill Road.
Uh-huh.
We were down past it, and there's like a gravel entrance, and we had an incident there, went up the line, put the line back in.
okay, so
And, they did send us in there, but it was just turning the brush around.
So this is some of the area where the tree trimmers were. And these are the areas that they cleared that day. The one guy said that they pulled into like a gravel parking area, drive area.
That's probably Richard Gurley. That's probably what he's talking about is right there. Because I remember Fred telling me that they were all parked over there.
And this is still the Wells property here. I don't know why he said at first they weren't on the Wells property when they were.
That's crazy, Mimi. Because
This is just, I'm trusting everything. I got to trust.
that's crazy because she said she was close to my age. Huh?
That little gravel area they're talking about pulling in, right past Thompson's driveway.
Oh, so
It's
it's
a
not.
power line, that power pole right there that goes to the Thompsons or back to Jody Sue's, and then it goes on in the hollow.
If that were to get clipped, who would it affect everybody?
It just depends on what line it got. If it got the one going up to 125, it would just affect it, or the one going, because there's a transformer right there that separates everybody's. But most likely it would affect everybody on in the holler too, and then it affected us on 15. But I was told it was a guy water, so I don't know.
Right. Why people should ask Candace about this Randy guy. We need to ask her about this Randy guy and what he looked like and stuff. Like, nobody's asked her about that. Because according to them, Randy was the one that was out there most of the day and we're talking to Candace and Grandis. So what does Candace remember of the guy? Would Candace know Randy Hill? Would she know if it was Randy Hill? But we can't trust her word either. Would Candace know if it was Randy Hill?
I don't know.
Does she know him, do you think?
I don't know if she knows him or not.
Yeah. Or Don?
Well, I think that maybe the Powell may have allowed that and stuff before they ever built that house up there. When Karen Golden and them built that house, seemed like Powell's one that actually allowed that property off for the trees.
Really?
So I don't know. I'm just trying to think back how that maybe they would know each other or whatever. Because see, Andy's grandmother had Powell to cut a bunch of trees on 125 as well. Around the same time.
Paul had what?
Huh?
Paul had Rand. What'd you say, Paul?
I said that Andy's grandmother, Felita, at 125, when they logged a lot of that down there, she had Paul to cut a bunch of trees on 125 as well back then.
Yeah, Paul and her had a really close relationship.
Before that.
Which is Andy's grandmother.
Before the house was ever built at 110. Because I'm pretty sure Paul's one cut the road and all that in there after he logged it and stuff. That was part of it. I think they give him some of the logs and stuff to do some of the grade work. I'm thinking.
Can you turn that light on? It's getting dark. Thank you. Meeting Randy that morning, I don't know if it was like they didn't like meet. I think they just ran into each other out there. I don't know. Guess your guys' guess is as good as mine. You know, they were working out there, but it is interesting that this Randy was the one that was talking to Candace, and yeah, I was trying forever to find out who that Randy guy is. Back when they told me.
No, he's transferred.
That there is a whole group of people that were there that day that nobody talks about. Nobody talks about these people.
Past few days, y'all, it's been rough. It's where my muscles and shit ain't working. Shit's going real bad. I'm off the medicine, have been for weeks. It's fucked, and I'm fucked currently. But nobody's feeling safe with the situation that's going on. That's how uncomfortable it was the other day. And then also have an entire road full of fucking weird road crew the other day. But I had two goddamn dudes drop their pin on purpose like a chick trying to just get you stuck. You know, like females, we have, I don't care what anybody says, we have that tendency to be like, let's drop something. And I know it's a 50, 60 thing, you know, whatever, for you to be brazen and out there and be like, hey, why don't you just give me the dick? Why don't you stop asking me out for a date? Now, you know, we don't really do that too much, but we know the drill, right? These guys pulled that shit on me. Dropped pins in my car in a place that I couldn't really get them. I feel like we have, I don't care what anybody says, we have that tendency to be like, let's drop something. And I know it's a 50, 60 thing, you know, whatever, for you to be brazen and out there and be like, hey, why don't you just give me the dick? Why don't you stop asking me out for a date? Now, you know, we don't really do that too much, but we know the drill, right? These guys pulled that shit on me. Dropped pins in my car in a place that I couldn't really get them.
What am I hearing? I heard people say this. I don't think I've heard this really before, but I heard people saying that this pin thing of she's saying the tree trimmer's dropping pins in her car for her number or something. Oh my gosh.
Hey, why don't you just give me the dick? Why don't you stop asking me out for a date?
Why don't you just give me the dick? What?
To be like, let's drop something. And I know it's a 50, 60 thing, you know, whatever, for you to be brazen and out there and be like, hey, why don't you just give me the dick? Why don't you stop asking me out for a date? Now, you know, we don't really do that too much, but we know the drill, right? These guys pulled that shit on me. Dropped pins in my car in a place that I couldn't really get them good, where I had to lean over. The entire car was surrounded. I'm not talking about 5, 10, 15, but like 50 men on both sides of my car. It was very fucking strange. And then
50 men surrounding her car and watching her bend over. Why did she do it? This was on the 13th. Wait, what? Okay, so Don will. Okay, so you're saying on Yelp.
Yeah. P delete. A
Yelp.
P.
Summer Moon. I think I did see something like that. Was it Tennessee? There's a place in Knoxville, guys, called Summer Moon Coffee. That's weird. Somebody just crashed. That was weird. I just heard a big noise, but Summer Moon Coffee. Wait, let me see. Is that really in Knoxville? Directions.
That's them grading the road.
Oh. It doesn't say the address. There's a place called Summer Moon Coffee in Knoxville? Website. Summer Moon, Farragut, Tennessee. Well, I mean, I guess the summer moon, so maybe it wouldn't be anything weird. It's just interesting that it happens to be Knoxville of all places. I put URL link. Well, it won't let you put a link. Can you? Hey, Amanda. You were just looking at that? Oh, okay. Sorry, Mimi. See, I want to see what you're talking about what do I search? What can I put? What do I put in the Summer Moon? Let me see. Yeah, if you can email me that.
every day it's been honking at like this morning, and my daughter was sitting there, and they were again honking, and I don't know why. You know, they've got the number to call him, so if anything, you know, because there's certain trees that are not to come down. There's been all kinds of shit going on through there. We're running electric companies to run the.
They've got the number to call him. They're running electric companies.
Main lines again to cut the trees down, right? That's what it is around them. But there's other things going there that are 3 companies in one. It's all fucking bizarre. But someone was like, you know, the helicopters aren't going to come down with the chainsaws. These things have been here since his family settled Rogersville. Some of the first settlers in Tennessee. We're not cutting those fucking trees. And so that was that. But I had to drop pins in this fucking car. And y'all know me too. When I'm all like, hey, I've been raped, I know what it's like. This shit's getting real weird. I don't know what the fuck's going on. But this shit's like making me sketch. Now, I'm never sketch, but whatever, right? But it's been a weird few fucking days. But I will tell you, the weirdest shit is over there in fucking Coastal Valley. And I just don't know about that guy. He's fucking trying real hard to be super sketch. But we got all that going on. Kid's 19th birthday. And then, you know, yeah, that's hitting. And then I keep smelling fresh babies. Yeah, don't even look at me. You heard me. But fresh babies are fresh babies. And, you know, I mean, irradiated currently. And no more babies for me, but too many surgeries couldn't probably help me anyway, and if something's wrong, I'd smother her with a fucking pillow. but definitely,
My
I don't want to have
God.
to go through amniosis.
You guys, I don't know if you who hasn't heard her say that before. If she had a child and it was something was wrong with it, she would smother it with a pillow. Like, that is not even a funny thing to say at all. 2002, yeah, so it's probably completely unrelated. It's listed under damage restoration.
Jesus, see what the fuck's wrong, or risks, or whatever, and then abortions and whatnot, time after time. Ain't no point in thinking about babies dying of cancer. But they sure do smell good. Fresh babies.
Oh,
And when that was 8 months old, he still smells fishy. He was a cutie.
For some reason, they seem to be off limits. They're not off limits for me. If you know me, I want to talk about the stuff that nobody else talks about, because the things that everybody has been talking about seem to lead nowhere. They lead to nothing. Nothing. Maybe if we look in a different direction, we might find the answers. That's where I'm going with this. If we look in a different direction, we might find some new leads, some new answers in this. The one thing I did want to talk about was in the very beginning of this case, within the first month, they were looking at the racetrack. Does anyone else remember the racetrack? Law enforcement were looking at the racetrack for Summer. And I never understood why they were looking at the racetrack until I started looking at the tree trimmers. And one of the tree trimmers is an avid racer. He's out at the racetrack. He has tons and tons of videos. He's out at that racetrack. There's a reason they were looking there. That guy was a suspect at one time on their list. So law enforcement felt that they had the need to look at the racetrack to see if they found her body somewhere.
Do we know that for a fact? Do we know that for a fact about the racetrack stuff? I thought that was an Ernie thing. Business address. I'm trying to search it and find it. But is that true, what she has said? Ernie was there, yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. I don't think law enforcement went there. Did they? Was it not Ernie Shell? Right, Missy, thank you. So I don't think, we don't know that. If that's, yeah, one of them is into racing and stuff. I know that, but why does she think they were a suspect on the suspect list? That law enforcement searched it?
See, what's weird about that too, they was talk about, Dennis was talking about Knoxville, that Playboy had that place next to Bristol Motor Speedway too, that he was taking and had a lot of girls at for the racetrack, for the ones that was coming in certain days for the race.
Gosh, man, I would. Okay, let me see. I found what you guys are talking about. It does show a business of Summer Moon at 110 Ben Hill Road. It's under damage restoration, and it was updated December 2025. What the heck? Updated December 2025. Why would it be December 2025? That's like now. I'll bring that up in a second. Donna's description for business. If you're needing dependable, affordable excavating work, give me a call. Excavating. That one's down and dirty excavating. I see what you're talking about, but that's a different business.
Dandridge Restoration.
Yeah, here, let's continue. Listen to this one. Huh?
Dandridge Restoration. I read something about it earlier today. Something with that place.
Dandridge. I didn't say Dandridge.
I thought you said something about Dandridge Restoration.
No, down and dirty excavating. And then there's this Summer Moon damage restoration that it looks like it must have been, had to have been Dawn. I doubt it was Candace. And it shows 110 Ben Hill Road.
I'll talk to you about that later.
Okay. Yeah.
Some research was done earlier, and it come up some of that on that link to that one place I was showing you earlier.
I thought yes, it was a psychic lead. Is that the same psychic that was that you were talking about? The one that searched the racetrack or whatever with Ernie?
Oh, I don't know. They was talking about it. They searched the one in Greene County, the racetrack in Greene County. There was supposed to be something that they found there, but it wasn't what they were looking for. It wasn't something.
No, it doesn't have any photos listed, Tanya. It's hardly got any information. That's why I haven't pulled it up, because it literally just says Summer Moon, damage restoration, and there's like nothing else besides it shows the location 110 Ben Hill Road. Nothing.
And somebody made a report about it. Somebody reported about a guy did something to Summer and her body was at the racetrack. I don't know if anyone else remembers this. This was in the very, very beginning of the case. And then to stumble upon this Scott Sanders after I've been looking into these tree trimmers and really looking to him and see that he's not from out of town. These tree trimmers weren't from out of town.
He never said he was from out of town, though. He said that Randy is.
If you go in and you look, they're all local. And then the ones that say they're from out of town, they just don't live in Beech Creek. They live in all the little towns around there. It's still all local. It's still local. It's not far. So, these people need to be looked at. I'm going to look at them. I'm going to look at them, and I'm going to try to find out as much information as I can. If anybody else knows me, I'm pretty good at finding out information. I've helped a lot of other people, other creators with finding out information, and I just don't really do that many videos or lives or anything. I'm more of a researcher, and I could build a good video and I can research really well. I'm not very good at it's still local. It's not far. So, these people need to be looked at. I'm going to, but it's actually Kingsport, a Kingsport Electric Company that services 110 Ben Hill Road. So I want to make that clear. And I spoke with the man today, and he actually called me back. I had left a voicemail for him. He returned my call, and I was eating lunch when he called me. So the first couple minutes of the video, I'm stuffing a sandwich in my mouth and finishing my food while he's talking. And I apologize for that. I actually didn't expect him to call me back so soon. I want to play that video now for you guys. And that way you guys can
I remember
hear actually what he says. And it's quite interesting.
Kingsport, Tennessee for Appalachian Power, and I received a voicemail from your number there just a little bit ago.
Yes. So I was calling because I wanted to find out some information. I had already spoke with the AEP main company, and they said I needed to speak to somebody at a local company.
Okay.
And you guys are, what is the name actually of your company?
It's American Electric Power. But there's different branches of American Electric Power. So like I'm in Kingsport, Tennessee. I'm actually a Kingsport Power Company employee.
Okay, so it's not Appalachian?
Well, Appalachian Power covers Virginia and West Virginia. In Tennessee, it's kind of an odd duck. We're in Tennessee. We're under a Kingsport Power Company now.
Okay, so do you guys service
Oh, no.
Rogersville area?
Hey, this woman is actually the one that she was on my panel a month or so ago for a second when White Boy was going after her and trying to freaking say horrible things about her, like about her being a lesbian and just saying very, very like horrible things because of some information she had. She used to be close with Candace and Grandis and stuff. So yeah, White Boy just started going after her. But she hasn't been around too much lately. She's been focusing on other things, but she's a really good person. And yeah, she is a good
No, ma'am, we do not. That's Holston Electric.
Okay, so I also spoke to Holston Electric, and they said they cut. Well, so do you service out towards Rogersville before it gets to where Holston takes over?
We do butt up with Holston Electric in some areas. What address are you calling for?
110 Ben Hill Road, Rogersville. Yeah.
That's probably us. Yes, ma'am. That's right there, right at the very end of our line.
Right, that's what they said. So is there? Can you tell if you guys service that address?
Yeah, let me look real quick. I've got you on the phone.
Okay.
At 110, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
This guy's.
Is there an actual house there, like an account that would be set up there?
She's lucky.
Yes.
She's lucky she got this guy. He's actually really trying to help. You know what I mean? A lot of times you don't get somebody like this.
I was gonna say sometimes I feel like I had a gentleman call me the other day about some property down there. Was asking if we served it. You said 110, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yes, we do serve that.
Okay. So, what company do you guys use to maintain those lines? Like if you have an outage?
That could be. Well, I mean, depending on what it is. If it's just something for tree trimming, we have Asplin Tree Company, Townsend Tree Company. They do our tree trimming for us. And then, like on normal outages, it would be our crews. It would be our crews out of Kingsport that does it. But if it's something big, like it's a big event, we may call in D8 Davis H. Elliott or possibly Pike, Fair Construction. They could be a multitude of people on a big storm.
Okay, so now if it's not a storm and say like
the thing is though that she's talking about 110, that's the beginning of the holler, and she said so this won't. They were further in, unfortunately, guys. So I don't know if this would be, now that we know that now that they were further in, and the way he's acting it is like that was at the end of his line. So this is crazy. Why is there so many twists and turns and weird shit in this case, and people with same names, and like, why does it have to be like this? But to me, it sounds like that was the very end. They weren't over at exactly at 110, like servicing. They were down the road. So I don't know what to think on this, because he's acting like, oh, that's at the very end. You know what I mean? 110's at the very beginning of the holler.
Ed Redmond is the last house on that AEP.
Ed Redmond's the last house on AEP.
Yeah.
So,
Ed Redmond's his last place on AEP.
and then your mom, or 165, was that AEP too?
Yeah, Ben Hill Road is last.
He's saying like the 110 was like Holston or some kind of Kingsport Electric.
It is Kingsport AEP.
But just okay. I'm so confused, guys. But anyways,
like the tree trimmers just down the line, then you guys would just send your linemen out there?
Yes, ma'am. It would be our AEP line. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and do you guys keep archives on down line reports?
We do keep up with outages. We can go back so far. I think it starts deleting after about 10 years.
Okay, so in a 2021, you'd be able to look back and see if there was a report of a tree trimmers downing a line, and if you guys sent linemen out there?
You'd be able to. Let's see. If it was called in, now that's another problem. If it wasn't called in by that account holder, then it would be hard to find it. But let me see.
See, that's the thing. I think whatever happened, happened because of that Randy guy, and they were already out there. So would they go report it? You know what I mean? Like that's if the incident happened because of this Randy guy, because they're acting like he got fired or he got transferred because of some incident. It is kind of strange. It shouldn't be this confusing, right? It shouldn't. So it does kind of make you wonder, like when it doesn't seem quite clear, that does kind of put up some red flags. I don't know. I mean, could the tree trimmers been like, they haven't talked to me for a couple years, but one's passed and the other one, like he didn't really talk to me except much anyways, but I showed you guys what he messaged and that was it. And it was hard getting that from him, you know? I don't know if he stopped talking because people started contacting and harassing him. I don't know if he, there's various reasons. Somebody. Hey, Tracy. Yeah, Burn Barrel's a good researcher. She worked with me for a while.
Let's see here.
I used to say, I was like, there's not very many people and I'm not trying to brag. I'm like, there's not very many people that research like I do. And Burn Barrel she's good. She is good. She knows what she's doing. And she really looks deep into the stuff. She definitely is.
Do you have a particular date?
Well, June 15th, the tree trimmers said that they had down the line out there of 2021, and that they actually had to leave early from trimming around 3:30 because they had to stop working because the line was down. And that they had to wait for a lineman to come out and fix it.
Okay. So at least I'm going to do those 3 days. And that would be...
Yeah, everybody makes mistakes. I have to watch.
Let it pull up, so let's get this right.
See, the good thing about Burn Barrel is that she's really good at trying to remain, what's the word? Let me keep listening. Like when you unbiased, she doesn't try to. She tries to look at things like from all angles. You know, she doesn't get like stuck on something and refuses to change her mind about something. Usually, she is very, very, very convinced, which is interesting that North Carolina is coming up because this Randy being from North Carolina, because I'm pretty sure, isn't that North Carolina where Jose was driven to by Grandis, and that Candace has a lot of relatives that live in North Carolina, like from her dad's side. So it is interesting. This Randy guy was supposedly from North Carolina, from what they said at the time, if they were telling me the truth, I guess. She had the wrong name for, let me see. Karen's father's one of her videos today alone would have told her it was a grandparent.
I am not showing anything for, in between June 14th through the 16th of an outage.
Okay. And now if the tree trimmers just hit a line and it didn't actually like cause an outage, they just needed a lineman out there, to help them to remove a tree branch or something, would there be a report on that?
me see. Let me go back to the account, see if I can go back anything that far. If they were just like rubbed up against the line or something like that, make the lights blink, I would imagine there would have been lights sent out for that.
Or like a branch hanging without it actually causing an outage?
No, that could possibly happen, yes, ma'am. If a branch just like fell on the line, actually didn't knock the power out, that could have happened. Yes, you are correct there.
And then there wouldn't have been a report. You guys don't keep like reports of like when you send people out?
Well, it should have been a trouble call, I would agree. But I looked on that whole circuit, and there's nothing on that whole circuit for during that time frame. Let's see. Let's go back to far. It will not let me.
And the call would have been made for the report actually from the tree trimmers and not from the resident.
Okay.
It would have actually been made by Wolf Tree.
Wolf Tree?
Yes, a Davie expert tree trimming company.
Okay. I will have to talk with them. There's nothing showing up on our outage report, and I don't see any type of order or anything out there. I guess at the end of the day, like, what are we trying to do here? Do we damage something? Or?
No. So I am investigating the Summer Wells missing child case, and so the on that day that she went missing, Wolf Tree was out there on their property, and they said they had an incident that day, and that was the reason they all had to leave early. That there was a downed line.
Yes, we just played the tree trim
and an outage
interview,
and that they had to wait for a crew to come out there to deal with that, and they did not return back out there to that property until the 16th. I was just trying to confirm some of the things that they said, because it was a little odd, some of the stuff they said, and what really was the incident that happened out there at 3:30. If it wasn't a down line, because the family, the residents of 110 Ben Hill Road said they didn't lose power that day, that they didn't see a downed line. But the crew from Wolf Tree is saying that they all had to leave early because of an incident, and the incident was a downed line.
Okay.
But you're not showing any.
I'm not showing any outages now. Now, a down line, every once in a while we will get stuff like telephone and cable that could possibly have, they may have dropped something on that, and it could have dropped telephone and cable. And if that's the case, we would not see that.
Okay, would that be called an outage?
It would, but not on our system. So you would have to reach out to, down there, you would be reaching out to probably CenturyLink.
Mm-hmm.
Or Charter Communications. I think they're Charter Spectrum now. You may reach out to them too, but on my end, if we would have had, if the AEP lineman or
I wonder if she could call this same guy or the same and ask about the Randy guy, if he would be able to get any information. He sounds very helpful. I mean, I wonder. Wait, no, that's the electric company, so he wouldn't know the Randy guy. We'd have to get a hold of somebody from the tree company.
Of our electrical contractors would have been out there, we would have had a ticket on it in that time. I'm not showing anything.
Neutral. There you go.
Okay, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And what was your name again?
Jesse Sally. I'm the customer service rep here in Kingsport.
Okay, Jesse Sally. Thank you so much. You really helped me a lot with my research.
All right. And then, like I said, the telephone company and cable companies in our area is CenturyLink. Actually, they changed their name now. Hold on just a second. Let me find that for you so I don't tell you wrong. They changed their name just like a month ago.
Now, would you believe that if it was just a cable line or a phone line, that it would be an incident where the crew would have to stop working?
If it was a cable or telephone line, most of the time their safety rules, yes, because what has to happen, and I know it sounds crazy, but say they even drop a telephone line or cable line accidentally, they have their crew supervisor has to come out. They have to do an investigation, because those guys get hammered pretty good for any kind of damage. So I would imagine that if they did drop a telephone line or cable line or power line, there has to be an investigation, and I'd say that's probably what's happened more than likely.
Okay, yeah, you're not finding that, so that means you're not.
So, well, interesting. And then that would be this matches kind of what he's saying. Kind of matches what Scott was telling me, because, which is one of the tree trimmers. Because they're saying like there was an incident that Randy got fired for, And like he's saying, they get hammered pretty hard about that, is what he just said. So if he made a mistake and it cost the company a lot of money or something, yeah, they could have either transferred him. Maybe they downgraded him, put him on a different position, you know, or they fired him. I mean, and this guy was supposedly from North Carolina. We need to see if anybody who's researching, see if Randy Hill has ties to North Carolina, because it doesn't sound right, but could they be lying to me? I mean, I guess, but there was two of them, and when one of them would correct the other if they, you know, thought something was wrong. Like when the one said fired, the other said they think they transferred him.
You're not seeing an investigation on your end.
1 second.
Okay.
I'm going to
And
play.
so who keeps the records on the tree trimmers that you guys hire and the companies? Because it said that was Wolf Tree was the company that was out there that day. So
There's safety rules, yes, because what has to happen, and I know it sounds crazy, but say they even drop a telephone line or cable line accidentally, their crew supervisor has to come out. They have to do an investigation, because those guys get hammered pretty good for any kind of damage. So I would imagine that if they did drop a telephone line or cable line or power line, there has to be an investigation, and I'd say that's probably what's happened more than likely.
okay, yet you're not finding that, so that means you're not seeing an investigation on your end. Okay. And so who keeps the records on the tree trimmers that you guys hire and the companies? Because it said that was Wolf Tree was the company that was out there that day. So what I was curious about was, would you guys have a report of them leaving early, or why they would have to leave since you guys hired them to do the job out there?
I could possibly find that. Yes, ma'am. It will probably be Monday. The forestry department, they work 410s.
Okay.
So they're off on Fridays, but I can probably reach out to them Friday, and they may have record of it. I'm sure there's paperwork on it somewhere, but a year's worth of paperwork, they may be able to find it. Hopefully they keep electronic records. I don't deal with the tree companies per se. That would be the forestry department.
You forgot one thing though, the public never lets this.
So, okay, guys. Guidewater. Right. See something? I know you didn't mean it. It's okay. It's okay. All right, guys. I just wanted to put out those messages. You guys take them how you want. I'm not trying to sway anybody either way, because I don't know exactly how to take everything. Hopefully we get some information to clear this up. If it really, you know, if we need to be looking into this Randy Hill, or if this is a completely different Randy. And it's also this rumor too that he goes by Andy. Why would a Randy go by Andy? That's I don't know. That doesn't make any sense to me. And Fred said he's never heard that Randy went by Andy. But hey, stranger things have happened. We've seen so many people like Andy and Jody Sue's son, who the whole family knew him as Drew, and suddenly they find out his name's Damien or Damon. Oh, she did one today? Sloan Bella did a new one today? Are you serious?
Let's see right here is where they were supposed to be, where the guy was supposed to be cut.
Hold on, let me see. I don't see anything about Summer Wells.
Right here, see that little dot right there. See that little gravel spot right there. See that power line goes up to Jody Sue's and Andy's.
Oh.
And see it goes from.
I think we need to be asking Andy and Jody
then-
Sue who this Randy guy
It
is.
goes up that way too, to the Thompson.
You guys, so it would have just affected Thompson and Jody Sue's?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Well, it could have affected on Upper Holler, but most likely would have disaffected one of those.
Could there have been a reason why somebody would want to do that
Because-
purposely?
I was told that they got a bush hog into it, so I don't know.
Like, I'm trying to think if there would be a reason that somebody would want to do something like that purposely. And does Jody, Sue, and Andy know this Randy guy? Did they talk to him that day? Slim Bella did that reading in July.
No power or nothing that day. But Ben Hill Road is the last. Ben Hill and Simpson right there is last road that's on AEP. Anything below Ben Hill Road on Beach Creek is hosting.
What does this person talk or treat about Michelle After Dark?
Michelle is just going on what Jinkies is saying. That's the only thing she is going on. From what I heard.
I don't know. Fortunately, I don't watch Michelle anymore because she joined the bandwagon of spreading misinformation on Fred and has never recanted it and still sometimes wrong. So I don't have anything to say either way about her. I just don't watch her anymore, promote her. It's old. The Solo one, maybe later I might come back on. I'm gonna go for now. I wanted to because I want to keep this separate. I want to keep this. I think it's important for people to see those messages. I think maybe like somebody like Killer Looks would definitely probably want to see those. And you know, I don't know how to take it. This guy. So many people have lied. It's hard to know what to believe anymore. All right, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Yeah, if there was a reboot, I would definitely want to come back on and play Sloan Bella's reading, but I don't see any new one. I just see her old one. What's TCB mean? Lightning Tiger? Like Ernie Shell? Does that mean Tiger Crew? Are you part of the Tiger Crew? Killer? Rawr. No, I'm talking about Michelle Michelle After Dark. Maybe Randy Kyline. Yeah, that's what I was wondering, Sylvia. I think someone else took her content. Here's the link. Is that a new one? If it's the old one, what does that say? Know my mom. What's that mean? Okay. Oh, taking care of business. Yes, absolutely. Okay, let me go to this link that hair colors. Oh, yeah, this is July 3rd, 2021.
With like a handyman things on the back. I don't know if that means a ladder or tools or paint buckets, but it's interesting. The driver of the truck, I feel, is different from the person who abducted her, who I feel is different from the person who orchestrated it. So I'm getting like a lineage of 3 different people. So I feel that it's very, very enmeshed with different groups of people. What I do see, and it's very interesting, somebody took her down to a pond or a stream. I do feel like she was summoned out of her house. The person that summoned her, she knew this person. I see her 3 siblings, and I'm not sure how old is, but this is somebody that's
No, he say, "Grr, pause, daddy, pause." Is it pause like bear paws, or like pause like Pause. Pause, Daddy. Pause. Some of these people aren't going to know what we're talking about at all.
Hello to all of my amazing person. I see her 3 siblings, and I'm not sure how old her oldest brother is, but this is somebody that's like her oldest brother. This is somebody who is either acquainted with her oldest brother, familiar with the family, connected through the oldest brother. This could be school, after school program, baseball, basketball, scootering, dirt bike riding, whatever it is, I get a connection. So this is somebody that has communicated with Summer's oldest sibling. See, immediately with the shaving of the head, power and control. She was being prepared for something. Summer's hair, from what I'm feeling, was shaved in order to teach her a lesson. She spoke out about something. There was a speaking out of something.
Oh, don't even lie, Killer Looks. You know that was you. Pause, Daddy. I'm just kidding. I'm so kidding. That was a bad joke. You're trying to distance yourself. Kidding. Yeah. Lisa, it's Damon. Damon. You know, like demon, but with an A. At least that's what it says on court records.
So her head got shaved. The wording that I heard, was an elite deacon. I went back to the month of March.
Oh, I've heard this before.
So in the month of March, April, Easter, this is being thought about since that time frame. Their side, mother or father's side, was hearing what was going on. It is not their fault, though, because I don't feel they're the ones that orchestrated this. I feel that there is a connection in a different way, and I feel that there is a theological or religious aspect to this. So in other words, somebody from that group of people, which comes from the father's side of the family, meaning the father's energy, not his side, what the father does in his life, the father's energy, it's connected like this. The church was watching. I really get that. So it's handed on down. Okay. Again, the word elite deacon.
Randy Hill is in his early 50s. Like we were talking about that earlier.
I don't know what or who the deacon is. Then I get 3 men. There are 3 men. I want to put the person in the church. I want to say a grandfather figure, but not a biological grandfather. So this is somebody in the neighborhood that people look up to as a grandfather type of figure. I also want to say that there is a connection to the oldest male sibling of Summers. And the connection is to another boy who would be within proximity of age. That could be within 5 to 10 years of the older sibling's age.
Oh, really?
So a kid.
Huh. Who do you guys think that could possibly be? Who comes to your mind immediately when you hear that? Immediate, top of your head. Some might say Hunter, I guess. I think, of course, Jody Sue's son, because he lived right there. He was always sneaking up on the property. He was seen in the pool with Summer a few weeks before, or however long before. Maybe it was like a little bit longer than that. No, it would have been within weeks, because it was June 15th when she went missing. Too much longer before would have been way too cold.
But maybe an early adult. She left the house willingly. She skipped around the side. And she skipped over. I can see her talking to somebody, and I can see her grabbing a bucket. And I don't know what the bucket's for. I can see her grabbing a bucket. So it's like if I said to you, let's grab the bucket and go feed the dogs. Let's feed the horses. Let's feed the chickens, whatever. That they're going to try to make it one person's fault, but it isn't. There's 3 of them connected to it. And it was specific. It was planned out. She was prepped with her head being shaved. That does not mean the person who shaved her head knew anything about this. Summer was being set up and prepared for this. She was prepared. She was prepared for this. Her hair was shaved for this reason. She was in the process of being prepared. She was laid down on something. This wasn't really an accident. This was a.
I'm listening to this off of Whistle Down. She's clipped it. What I'm guessing what the part she thinks is important. So it's just a 9-minute clip. But if you guys could put Bella's link in the chat, I would really appreciate that. Just so if you wanted to go see the whole one, you could. I wasn't even going to play it because I wanted to, but it does kind of relate while we're talking. I mean, obviously it relates because it's Summer Wells, but now people think it's possibly important because Paul is a pastor or used to be. And yeah, and I don't know, guys.
And when the law enforcement was asking me last time I physically seen Summer, that was the last time I physically seen Summer. It was about 3 weeks before she was reported missing, and she was in the pool with Damien. Then they was talking about asking where the pool was, and I was telling them where I was seeing the pool and stuff at the Wells, and they're like, it's not there now. And they was kind of figuring that was strange too, like it was up and then not there no more.
Yeah, it's odd. Where did their pool go? You know, why would it go missing? It's the beginning of summer.
Because they're like, they didn't see no pool up there or nothing, you know. I'm like, well, it was out there off the end of the steps and stuff.
Wonder where that did go for. Yeah. Hopefully, let me see.
Thought out plan to grab this child. Definitely abducted. I do feel like the oldest boy sibling, and I don't know those kids' names, understands or thinks he knows what happened, not because he saw it, but because he knows it. Like he's thinking about it, and it's thinking.
That's why Don was taking the oldest boy everywhere he went. You know, right after, even the night of, here comes Don with his oldest son down to Fred's. You know, Tunnel Seer and a Resurrection. Rick Crawford, wasn't he a pastor? See, yeah, I think so. I think you're right. A deacon or something. See, a lot of these people were deacons and pastors and stuff. So it's like all of Paul's brothers. So Paul is the brother of Fred's dad, and there's 11 of them. All but 2 of them were pastors, or there was another. Fred said they were either pastors or owned a business. I think that's what the other thing he said. But like all but 2 of them were pastors. So there's a lot. Yeah, Brandon Lawson is what I was thinking. That's who I originally was thinking. Like, I don't know. I have to say, I don't know a lot. It's a lot of information.
So I do feel that. I don't feel like she was struggled out of her house. I don't feel like anybody put a bag over her head and took her away. But what I do see is that after she was taken, something was put over her face to make her sleep. I do see that. The city is blocking something. So the people in the neighborhood are blocking something. Obviously not all of them, but there is a block to what's going on. You will not hear about it for a while. I do feel they know what happened to her. Somebody knows what happened to her. And I'm not talking about in the family. I'm talking about in law enforcement. There's a feeling of like, we know what happened to this little girl. And I do feel that's going to come out sometime around mid-August, like the 18th. But then I'm jumping into the Christmas season again, and I'm not understanding what's going on. I'm hearing denials.
Christmas season. We're getting to be in the Christmas season of 2025. I mean, it is about that time. He's not retired yet. Lawson's still in office right now. He won't be out of office till around October of next year or November, I think.
Hearing people talking, there's some sort of a woman stepping up defending what appears to be like her son, and it's not Summer's mother, it's somebody else's mother with blonde, kind of wavy, and not blonde like my hair, natural blonde hair, or like sun-kissed hair, brown hair with like highlights from the sun, kind of a red face, so a little bit Irish looking woman. And I'm seeing her, kind of a sunburnt face, I'm seeing her, and she's yelling at people for thinking that it's her family member. And this to me feels like a child. So she's defending a child over here.
That's Jody
This
Sue for sure.
I see. It's very strange. So I split on it, and I go in 3 different directions. I'm going to say it again. Elite deacon, grandfather figure.
Yes, it was in 2020.
Oldest sibling.
This is only, you guys, this is only 2 weeks after Summer went missing, July 3rd of 2021.
Male acquaintance of older sibling is how I want to word that. Not known to the older sibling, like none of this was discussed. He has nothing to do with it. But again, I see 3 people. The day she disappeared, I see her going up to somebody, and it seems to me to be a lighter colored truck that's like a handyman truck. So somebody with a ladder or paint buckets or hammers and tools or wood or, stuff like that in the back of this truck. So it's like a Toyota something. It's not a huge truck. It's like a Toyota.
Hunters, but she said it's defending her son. And how could it be Leslie? Leslie's deceased, and she never spoke up and defended anybody, any son or any boy. Leslie's not even alive. That doesn't even make sense. And they were talking about his son, the son. So Hunter's not her son. Now, but Allie's got red face, but her hair is definitely not blonde.
Whatever, Trump.
Yeah, but she's never defended. She's never came out and like screaming. That doesn't make sense. She's only done that one interview.
Feels like that. That's a lighter colored truck. That's just how I'm seeing it. When I look and I ask about Summer's energy, I'm feeling another weird thing I'm going to say. They tried to keep Summer like you would keep a pet, to feed her, to keep her connected. But I'm almost feeling when they find her or understand what happened to her, there's been a mass cover up. Everybody's scrambling to distance themselves, to get away, to remove things, to take off, to hide it, to not be caught. This little girl literally was targeted. She happily went out of her house. Nothing scared her. So she knows this person. Nothing scared her. She wasn't kidnapped by, scary guy in the bushes, scary guy in the truck, rape van. It's not that. This is somebody. The person, they came by Summer in what I want to say is like a Toyota truck. The person that came by Summer and picked her up, talked to her, was sent by someone else who was older. So like an errand boy, a runner, a person that does errands for you, your handyman helper, works with his dad, carpenter, handyman, something along these lines, fixing houses, painting, but I get paint buckets. So that could be somebody who's a painter in the local town, or they were just fixing up something in their house and carrying stuff. I mean, we've all done that too. But I do feel this. The person in the truck was younger. I'm seeing older, somebody let's just say somebody in their 60s, church deacon. I don't know what a deacon means exactly. I don't know what church that belongs to, but church deacon. Grandfather figure, who I take to be older, we'll just put them as a grandfather age, say 70. I mean, you can be a grandfather at 50, we know this, but I'm going to put them at the traditional grandfather age in their 70s, and then I'm going to put somebody about the age of 17 through 23. I feel all three of these men are Caucasian.
17, 23.
And
Hunter is 14. Andy's son was 19.
Feel like Summer knowingly knew the person. So this is somebody who betrayed another person who knew them. This is a betrayal for some, but there's a reason for it. Like, there's a reason. It's like, I'm getting back at you. This is a betrayal of some kind. This is a betrayal to Summer. It's I'm getting even with you.
Revenge. Yep. And now that goes into something that I don't know if I should. You guys know that I'll just say this. We turned in a tip and I put it on the wall, and everybody, assumed it was about, what were we talking about at the time? Oh, everybody thought it was about the search or whatever. Our tip. No, people started acting weird and frantically contacting Fred after that whole search happened. And it was weird. People who haven't contacted him before this whole time. And they were trying to rewrite history. And it has to do with that motorcycle that was broken down. And yeah, that's what I'm going to say. Now we're wondering if the person with the motorcycle that was broken down is all connected to this. It was two people. It was a gold Lexus. They were going to reclaim their bike that they claimed was stolen. And they were broke down at a certain person's driveway. And Fred drove by, asked if they needed help, and he went back and got the trailer. The situation is very, very, suspicious to us now. And yeah, we had to remind them about that situation. You know what I mean. But with more detail, I'm not going to say everything because obviously you guys already knew. Block. Okay. Anyways, yeah, the one Fred helped. Yep. It was two guys. They were in their 20s. One had dark hair to their shoulders. The other was a blonde head boy. One was in the gold Lexus. The other was with the bike. Which is interesting. Gold Lexus. You know how Dawn mentioned a yellow vehicle? Could he have been calling the gold Lexus yellow? I mean, I don't know. Anyways, guys, there's some food for thought for you guys to think about. And we need to figure out who those people were, for one. We've been trying so hard to figure out who they were. They originally, I hope it's okay I'm talking about this. I hope it's okay I'm talking about this. I said I hope it's okay I'm talking
Yeah,
about
go
this.
ahead.
Okay.
That was the first bike I hauled that day. Hauled to Kingsport to West Side Inn for him.
Yeah, but
I didn't
originally,
know who that boy was. Neither one of the boys.
but originally, Fred stopped because he thought he recognized the guy and thought it was somebody else.
I thought he was one of my family.
Yeah, and it wasn't. And then he asked if they needed, anything. They said, you have a trailer, we need this towed, because one guy was walking it, right?
Yeah.
And
Well, he wasn't walking it when I seen him. They just pulled over there.
and Fred went back to get a trailer and then comes back there and they
First
asked,
he asked if I'd take it to Molnex Drive, and I told him I didn't know where Molnex Drive was. I didn't know until later on. I started researching it not too long ago and found out where it was at. But I told him I didn't know where Molnex Drive was, and he asked if I'd take it to West Side Inn. And I told him, like, yeah, because I was going to Kingsport anyway.
and people like,
Which Molnex
and
Drive
people like, oh, you
is-
should have known better. West Side Hill's the biggest freaking drug area, and well,
But Molnex,
nobody's thinking that somebody's freaking having something to do with kidnapping a child.
by him saying something about Molnex Drive, evidently he knew somebody on Molnex Drive, which is right behind. When I researched it, it's the next driveway from where the news cruises was set up at Solomon's Temple Church, around that curve to the left.
What else is around there? Anything else that's like right there that's brought up a lot in this case?
No, Blue Solo Cup mentioned that Mike Lawson would talk to you about something, and he's the one that lives on Molnex Drive.
And he was one of the ones that was part of that bust, right? Back in 2009 or whatever, 2011, 2009.
Yeah. And he's associated.
He's
with
passed
that
away now,
address,
though.
too, out there where Stony and stuff, where Andy mentioned Stony.
You said actress?
Huh?
Actress?
No, I wasn't saying about actors.
What'd you say?
I was talking about he was associated with that address with
Address.
Stony,
Okay.
where Evil Ender pulled up
Yeah.
with Moon and all them with that white car,
Yeah.
where Stony was supposed to be in that Andy's work and stuff.
And
He's
Jody,
associated with that house.
and
as
Jody
well.
Sue just so happened to put out a picture of Moon at her driveway or outside her camper for some reason, next to that yellow, what is it?
Xterra.
So, wonder if Dawn or Candace Grandis went to South Carolina earlier in 2021.
But when I came back from Kingsport, the last place I stopped was at Brendan Clark and them's out there on Long Store. And he had asked if I'd work on his bike and stuff for him. I was telling him, yeah, well, I had a trailer there. Go ahead and load it up. That's the bike I had on the trailer when I pulled on to Ben Hill Road after someone went missing.
Yep, and that was on his trailer when he came in, right in front of law enforcement. So, yes, it did happen for those that want to pretend it didn't. So yeah, you guys starting to see why Fred's really important to this case. Like,
There were certain things that boy mentioned too that was on that bike that day. He talked about recovering that bike, but he never told me where he found the bike at. But when that girl contacted me the other night, she told me that it was
recover from Ben Hill Road.
recovered back from Ben Hill Road. So, and it was never on camera from Thompson's on in. So it had to be either Andy's or Don's. So it kind of makes me wonder if it was in Don's shed or something. That's why Don went straight to the shed.
Mm-hmm.
Because this little things he talked about on the way there.
Because he was acting like the
was
bike was
weird.
stolen, right?
Yeah, he said it was stolen.
And he was talking
and he
about
just recovered it.
And he was
Just found
talking
where it was
about, he was talking weird. That's all I'm going to say about revenge and stuff. So, and this is something Fred's talked about since the beginning, but it wasn't quite like really, I mean, it's always bothered him. It's always bothered him who those people were. Every so often it's coming up, you're like, but now it's super important.
at. And he allowed his dad lived in Duffield, Virginia. And he talked about trading his dad a red Toyota truck on 38 or 36s for that bike, and he's talking about, oh, it was like his baby girl or something, made some kind of comment, how that would somebody like if there's something about a baby girl
Yeah.
or something,
Yeah.
made a weird comment.
So now I'm like pretty freaking sure that that's related somehow at this point. And this is just something new.
I wondered
That's
if it was a revenge type deal.
this is something that's just like.
And then you got certain ones that around the creek.
But
that do-
Don knows what it is. He knows they know what it is. If it is revenge, they know exactly what it's about.
And then you've got certain ones around the creek that do steal stuff and store it on other people's property and them not even know it's there.
Yeah, because who would know? Somebody could store something at that bottom shelf. Don's and him not know forever. Because how often does he really go in there?
I don't know.
You know what I mean? The Mosleys. Do you know any of the Mosleys? Mosleys or Mosleys?
No,
Mosleys.
not something I would.
So yeah, I don't know, guys. Hopefully law enforcement. I would think though, because they knew about that from the beginning, right?
Yeah.
About those people broke down, so
Yeah,
they
talked
probably
about-
figured out who those people were.
It's been reintroduced to them again.
Especially since you took them to West Side Inn, that means that if West Side Inn had any type of record, they would see who they were.
Well, he'd be on camera at Zoomers too, because we stopped at Zoomers and they got gas in that
Yeah,
Lexus at Zoomers.
and there's a double. They could double team that shit and also get Andy on camera at 5:30 at Zoomers. So hopefully they've already got this security footage and everything because
And where the driveway was that I picked up that bike, there's surveillance too, supposedly. I know they did have surveillance.
yeah, and we were asking that person to please turn it in.
Yeah.
And we turned that whole conversation in
Because it's odd.
because it was
that's
very,
where-
very weird what this person was saying. They kind of had dementia like Andy Bernard.
Yeah, they tried to.
Distance themselves like Andy Bernard.
And then started.
So
Well,
we were
they
like,
caught-
well, turn in the surveillance. That would solve it all.
Yeah.
Turn in the surveillance. Very odd conversation, guys. And when we tell you this person hasn't contacted Fred this whole time
And then won't contact me after that come up and.
after the search and everything, panicking. No, Candace didn't go straight to Fred's. Candace, what do you mean straight to Fred? Oh, it's the reason why Candace went straight to Fred's because why do you say straight to Fred's? When you say it like that, it makes it seem like she's going right to Fred's. She didn't go, she was looking for Summer, if you're talking about when she ran into Chad Arnold. Is what she claims anyway.
Assuming she just seen Chad Darn for him.
Yeah, she was trying to, set up her whole her whole make it look like she was searching and stuff. So she's driving down the hauler. She just happened to run into Chad Arnold. It wasn't making a beeline for Fred's. Fred and Candace never have really talked ever, except like once. And that was like,
Twice, I think it was. Once before someone went missing.
Yeah,
once
but
after someone-
what did you guys, you didn't have a conversation or anything. It's like, is Dawn here?
That was the 17th. The last time I spoke to her, and that's when I went to record. And the only thing she said, Dawn went home.
Yeah.
And Dawn pulled up almost immediately, and she went in the house.
Dawn's the one that
Before
kept
then
going.
Was, several years before.
Dawn's the one that kept going down to Fred's all of a sudden after the 15th, which was suspicious. Has nothing to do with Fred. I mean, it does have something to do with Fred. Has nothing to do with them being friends because beforehand they did not talk hardly ever. And Dawn all of a sudden starts showing up, and it was because he was nervous. That's why he knew Fred saw Andy on the road.
To be honest, I may have speak to Candace maybe 4 times as I think about it, and over the whole time they've lived over.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine. People have said stuff like that. I just wanted to clear it up exactly because before, I didn't think about, because I was so new to this. I didn't think I had to be so specific, and yeah, now it's definitely you have to be extremely specific, especially at this point. So all right, guys, I'm gonna go. This is a really good live full of info. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and we will talk. On Wells, before anyone heard from Fred, immediately she said he went to Fred Hills and Frank Lights. Candace acted like she was terrified to even mention Fred, like he was dangerous. Yeah. It's all an act, Carrie. All an act. Fred is not dangerous. He is one of the kindest people. Anytime that he's been in trouble, like any of those incidents that he's been in trouble, it came to him. He didn't go out trying to cause issues. It was somebody coming to him. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to keep going over it. So it's out there. If you guys wanted to listen to it, I put it out a million times.